Nice. Oh, just knocked all my targets down. Oh, we'll get that guy though. What did I tell you? I could see him. Hello, comrades. This is Hickok 45, bringing you something I've not really shot much. That is the Tokarev. Yes, comrades, quite an interesting piece. You may have shot one, you may have seen one or held one. I have not had a lot of experience with it, but I'm enjoying this one. A viewer lent this to us, and it's quite an interesting pistol. So let's take a little look. And but before we do, guess what? I need to shoot another magazine. I just need to. I'm not sure why. It's just too much fun. Romanian Tokarev. All right. TTC. Feels pretty good. Recoil is very light. If you've never fired the 7.62 by 25 pistol cartridge, it's a light recoiling cartridge. It's very, very fast. It's very powerful. It's known for being powerful. A little bit in the category, I guess, of the 357 SIG. Relies on velocity, I guess, as much as anything. Not that heavy a bullet, but it is very, very fast. That's 85 grain, 90 grain bullets, that kind of weight range, but trucking along out there at, I don't know, 1,400 feet per second or something. So interesting piece of hardware. This takes us back into the Cold War, these old guns. This one's a Romanian, the TTC model. It was, licensed out to lots of different countries, mostly the Warsaw Pact countries, and I think Asia, Africa. So, I mean, I think it's 50 different countries use this thing. So, that's what makes it interesting. The fact that it was used in so many places for such a long period of time, from the 1930s, early 30s, all the way up to the mid 60s, this thing was carried. Maybe some people still carrying it because it's not a bad shooter. As I've looked at these over the years, I thought, well, there's one of those old Cold War pieces, clunkers. Who would really want one of those? But this thing actually, and I'm not blowing smoke, it actually feels good in the hand. It's really kind of a copy of John Browning's the FN 1903. As you look at it, if you're familiar with that. And we may take it apart here, and you'll see that it also borrows from the 1911 in terms of the drop link system on the barrel and the way it comes apart for the most part. So I don't know if good old John Browning spent some time over there having vodka with Fyodor Tokarev or not, but somehow it ended up looking a little bit like some of good old John Browning's creations. Of course, if you're going to copy somebody, who better to copy than good old John Browning? But I don't love really hot, light cartridges generally, and especially in a handgun. But I have to say, it's pretty interesting and fun to shoot because you don't really feel much recoil at all. It's almost like shooting a 22 or something. Yet you do have some punch, you really do, and it just doesn't recoil much, and it feels good. It looks like it would be really awkward to hold, doesn't it? It just really does. Like, wow, how'd you like to have to carry that or rely on that? But it actually feels pretty good. Maybe it's just me. What else about it? Let me take another shot here. And this particular gun, I don't know if they're all that way, but it seems to, the sights seem to be pretty much on. So I don't have any lame excuses I can use about the sights being off. There's something about it, you just want to shoot it one-handed. I'm not sure what it is. I really don't. You can tell whether it was hitting or not. One thing I've discovered with it too is that fast bullet. It's so fast that you don't hear it hit the steel sometimes when your ears are plugged, like mine are right now. You don't get that loud bong. All right. Speaking of loud bongs, you won't hear one, but maybe you can tell. Let's take it on out to the gong. I think that's what the Russians did with them. They trained at 80 yards. Now I hear the ringing. Yeah. You notice it doesn't take long getting there. Yeah, buddy. I think I see those hits towards the top. Interesting. Let's try. You know, I have noticed one thing. Oh, there we go. If you notice, the magazine wants to kind of hold up or hang up just a little bit if the slide is back, which makes no sense, does it? But it will go in. You just have to force it, punch it with a hammer, kick it. Well, I don't know if I can hit an animal or not. I don't know if they'll knock it over. Let's try a pig. Ooh, sure did. Huh. And if it knocks a ram over, I'll be surprised. I think I hit it once. Okay, let's try that turkey up there. A little dust. I think I have another mag. Yeah, more ammo. Let's try this. Yeah. Not sure what that is. The owner just recently got in 2 extra magazines. It might be the 2 he ordered that he just got in yesterday before I picked it up from him. It might be those 2 that act that way. I don't know. All right. See? You could even turkey hunt with this thing. That's probably one thing the Russians did with it. All right. Those are pretty hard to knock down with anything. All right, pretty interesting gun. All right, empty magazines, boo-hoo. But I just have 4 mags. All right, I think most folks just have a couple, so I can't complain. So again, you've got a fast little cartridge, a necked round, and a 7.62 by 25. It's available. There's a lot of surplus ammo out there. That's one of the attractions of these firearms. I'm not as savvy about what all the surplus ammo is because I've never owned one. I just bought some factory ammo just to be safe. And I understand some of the surplus ammo, is it Bulgarian, maybe the Czech, some of it is really hot. I think it's okay to shoot in these guns because they're really built well. But a couple things about the firearm. This one has a decent trigger. I have no complaints at all about the trigger on this one. Okay, it's about typical of what you might get off the shelf 1911 or something. You know, maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 pounds or something. It's got a nice break. It does have a half cock right there. When you have it at half cock, it locks up the slide and everything. Okay, it's got a long hammer right back there. Now, also you got this little thumb safety here. I guess you call it a thumb safety. This was added just as an import restriction. You know, in order to be imported into this country, it had to have that. So that's an add-on. That's not a part of the original design. And depending on where they're imported from and who does it, I think some of the safeties were added even back here. So just know that the gun was not designed by Tokarev to have a thumb safety. All right. And from my reading, I read an article by Leroy Thompson. He was saying that the gun was really, he thought, designed to be carried condition 3, and that means without anything in the chamber. And he said that's why he carries it when he's somewhere where he has one that he carries, because he doesn't trust the half cock or having the hammer down a live round, okay, in the chamber. And he also mentioned that in that article I read that that's the way the Russians carried them. So take that for what it's worth, but he's usually a pretty reliable source, I think. Anyway, interesting firearm. Let's before we shoot it again, let me show you why it brings back the ghost of John Browning. Now, it's got a couple of differences here. I got to well, let's see. First, though, I'm going to take it down this way. A couple ways to do it. Let's make sure we are really clear. Okay, I'm too old to have a hole in my hand, aren't I? Okay. And I think I decided it was better to have the hammer, yeah, like that. Okay. So now this is a little tricky. Have to push down on that. Make sure I've got my thumb there to protect myself and get this barrel link around. You know what? I might need to have it in half cock. Yeah, it's acting up there. Okay. Sometimes I debate whether or not to break a pistol or rifle down at all. You know, in video, it just depends. And this comes out, the barrel bushing, and oh, okay, that releases the spring. Okay, and then you pull out the slide lock, kind of like a 1911, except you have this added little clip over here that needs to be slid back because it holds the slide lock button. And I can do it without getting a sledgehammer out. Yeah, push it back. And see it releases right there. That's the other side of the slide lock. And that just releases. So you don't have to bring the slide back or anything on this. There you go. So that looks a little familiar, doesn't it? It's a different looking bushing, but that's kind of 1911-ish, John Browning-like, isn't it? Okay, so the slide is free. And you see what I mean? You've got your guide rod there. Looks kind of familiar. It's a little different there on the end, the little plug. And then the barrel. See with the link? Yes, John Browning would be proud. Well, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. Okay, and then that come out the front. See, looks a little bit like a 1911 barrel, doesn't it? Let's see what it says on there. Oh, it's just a number. Okay, I was going to try to read some Romanian there. And you know, your slide, a little bit like a 1911. So now here's a cool part. This is a little different. Check that out. Okay, the rest of it looks like it could be almost a 1911, except let's take the hammer out. Whoa, look at that. The whole hammer control system there, unit, all comes out in one piece, ejector and everything. Make it easier to clean. So that's interesting. I have not seen another firearm like that. You just set it right in there. There's no pin or anything. Just, that's it. In fact, it'll fall out on the ground while you're reassembling if you're not careful. Pretty cool, huh? So, and the grips come off there. You notice there's no screw there. There's a little clip in there. You got to reach in with something and push that over, and then that releases them. I won't get into all that. Okay. All right. So let's put the slide back together, and the way I'm going to do it is this way. There's a couple of different ways. I think this is the best way. As long as you don't shoot the spring through your eyeball, you're in good shape. You might want to wear some kind of glasses or if you're working on it. All right. And the little link discovered it actually helps if it's down. Okay. Now, let's see here. And keep from fumbling around too much. Get this back together. Things like this are always easier to do if nobody's watching, right? And I do think somebody's watching, though. I have a feeling there are people spying on me right now. Bring this back around. And you don't have to line it up with a notch, which I thought you did. I struggled the first time I took it apart. And okay, now I think all I have to do is get this back in now without sending anything through my eye or the camera, John's eye. I've got to push this back down. To be careful about that. Put the barrel bushing back in. As I have my finger on that, I'm okay. There we go. Okay, not too bad. So it works. Again, you got your thumb safety right there, or yeah, thumb safety. All right. And again, I've read that you want to be careful about relying on this. It's not like a 1911 thumb safety necessarily. These were add-ons, and I think they just block the trigger. And You know, so it's just not the kind of firearm you want to say, oh, I've got a safety there and I can carry this thing cocked and locked. Maybe you do, maybe you could, and maybe never have a problem. But yeah, probably best not to rely on that. All right, let me load some magazines. All right, so like I say, this gun, I think I might have already said 1930, you know, basically when this was designed. They made a bunch of them there. I think it was the TT-3 or 30 model or something, and then put some of them in the field, about 1,000 of them. But then as they were testing them, they made just a few minor changes to the barrel lugs and some things, and by about 31, whatever, 32, they had it to where they wanted it, and it was the TT-33. So when they really started cranking them out, it was the TT-33 model. That's the one that so many of them made, and very very popular. Now I think it was later, after World War II, they started licensing them to other countries, all the Warsaw Pact countries and all over the place. And there are a lot of countries that made them, and like this one, Romania, and you know, North Korea, Yugoslavia, China, Hungary, you know, just any number of, and they all have different model numbers. You know, like I think Yugoslavia is a model 57 or something, but they're all basically the Tokarev design with just maybe a few minor modifications, and I guess they all fire the same cartridge, of course. So lots of them around. I think there were 50 countries where they were in use. So quite a widespread use of this firearm, and that always makes a firearm interesting to me. Just the fact that it was used by so many people for a long period of time, and that we can own these. That's what's cool, that kind of history. And again, we don't have to rely on replicas of these firearms. This is a firearm, you know, that was carried. You know, this was made in 1953, and you could go back and I guess you could get your hands on some of the collectors of the Russian models that were made in 1937 or just whenever, and know that somebody actually carried that pistol. That's what's cool. And especially if you're an old guy like me. I grew up during the Cold War. You know, we did nuclear attack drills when I was in middle school. You know, getting under the desk, where you're used to maybe fire drills, you younger people. We would actually do that. You know, pretend that a bomb had dropped, and we would get under the desk. That would solve it, wouldn't it? Solve the problem. So for most of my life, or at least half of my life, that was part of our mentality. Just like terrorism, the potential for terrorism is now, it was nuclear exchange. And us and the Soviet Union and at various times having very antagonistic relationships and that sort of thing. And so things that come out of that era and those places, you know, they're just kind of interesting now that I actually can have that in my hand and shoot it here on my range. Which, by the way, why don't we do that? Now I have I think a Bianchi mag pouch. I think that was standard issue with the Russian army. You think? All right. Well, like I said, this thing just begs to be shot one-handed for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's more fun to miss with one hand than it is with two. Whoa, you know what? You caught me. Let's empty it. I was a bad boy here. I left the clip off. Oops, now I've dropped the, there it is. That's one step that I did not take. And now, there we go. We don't have anything that's able to fire it. So we'll just take that round out. Oh, that's empty. That's good. All right. You see what I did? You let me do that. See that little clip I told you about so carefully? I did not put it back on. So you get to see me reassemble it again. It's all right. No extra charge. No one. Now 10 Outdoors 9 would probably charge you extra for this extra training, but I'm not. I'll just do this for you. How's that? So you do have that extra step there. You've got to put that clip on, or else you can lose your slide stop. This one I didn't lose it, but it started coming out. I saw it right away there. All right, so let's put that back together, see if we can do it again. Keep our hammer assembly and everything back in. All right. I need practice doing this anyway. Who knows, I might get one of these and make it my carry gun. It's kind of an interesting piece of hardware. And it really does feel good. I mean, it's thin. It's not very, it doesn't feel that heavy to me. And it is thin. So it's very desirable, I'll have to say. All right, so we can do this again without sending it up to the stars. Barrel bushing. All right, now let's not forget. You almost let me forget again. Looks like y'all could help me out rather than just kind of sit there at your computer watching. You know, it'd be nice if you'd help me. You know, when I start to do something dumb. Okay, there we go. See, that's what I forgot. Now you can learn from that. If you have a Tokarev, always think back to Goofy Hickok in this video. How he almost lost the parts from his gun right in the middle of a shootout. All right, what was I shooting at? Oh, we've got some targets right here. Let's see. Let's pick them off one at a time if I can. I do believe the sights are on. Yeah, elevation or the windage looks pretty good there. Yeah. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. Let's try a little 12 ouncer. That's a little more of a challenge down there. All right. More ammo, more ammo. And I'm going to go ahead and close the slide since that's a little bit of an issue. All right, let's see what it does on the tree. Again, these are pretty light. You got a lot of velocity, but not a very heavy bullet. Not too bad for an 85 grain bullet, I guess. Not too bad. All right. Interesting. I know what let's do. We haven't done. Let's try a little, what have I got left here? Yeah, I got one more mag and what I've got in the gun. Let's try to shoot it fast if we can, just for kicks. All right. I'm just going to try to empty it on the tombstone. Fun. Nice. Hey, this would make a good military pistol, I do believe. So anyway, the Tokarev, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of history associated with it. You could read books on the pistol. I hope I gave you just enough to let you maybe help you appreciate, you know, where it comes from. But again, this is from the Soviet bloc, from the the Warsaw Pact countries. It's just kind of a standard issue from the early 30s on up 50s and mid 60s. Very common. Shoots a 30 caliber bullet, which is a little bit unusual. That's kind of a small bore from what we're used to. And you got a mix of John Browning here, and a mix of Fedor Tokarev, and just a very interesting old gun. It really is. I wouldn't mind having one myself sometime, I think. Life is good.